Welcome to another episode of Plead the Cause, brought to you by Heart of the Bride Ministries. We are here to plead the cause of the orphaned and vulnerable children around the world and right here at home. You can find out more at heartofthebride.org. My name is Tommy Morris. I'm the Director of Community Engagement at Heart of the Bride Ministries. And today I'm joined with another one of our staff members. Matt is here to talk to us about Care Portal. So, we often hear when we think about overseas ministries, people say, well, what about right here at home? Well, Matt, that's what we're going to be talking about today, because you're going to share with us what we do right here in our own community with foster and adoptive care through Care Portal. So uh, thank you for joining us today, man. Glad you're here.
Thank you, Tommy. It's great to be here.
Yeah. So the first thing I want to find out is actually something about you. Why this field of ministry, when we think about fostering adoptive care and joining Heart of the Bride, what led you to want to do this work?
Well, it was definitely a process, and I can thank the Lord for bringing me where I'm at, and certainly my wife for bringing me where I'm at. We started probably back in 2010, just supporting other families in our church up in Dayton, Ohio, who were adopting, some from overseas, some from foster care, just wrapping around them. And I think the Lord used that time of just growing our hearts and making us more aware of his heart for the orphan and his adoptive heart. I also was involved in the Big Brother, Big Sister program at that time. And just the Lord taught me a lot about loving those when there no strings attached, when there's nothing in return. And he just started opening my eyes to the way he loves me and the way he adopted me. So I think that's how it all started. The journey continued when we got to Florida. We decided to adopt and decided to adopt out of foster care. And we got the call for a little one after being licensed to adopt. And they said, we've got a baby for you that we think is a good match. Her name is Taylor. And in order to take placement of Taylor, you need to become foster parents, because it was something called a legal risk kind of placement. So we prayed and agreed to become Taylor's foster parents first. And then through the course of what turned to be a long journey, it was definitely the worst of times and the best of times for us. The Lord carried us through. He was our rock as we finally got to adopt Taylor in 2019 and call her our own and give her our last name. And it was right about that time that I was invited to come be a counselor at a camp, a summer camp here in Okaloosa County with Heart of the Bride. And that camp was called the Landing Camp. And it was to serve kids that are in the foster system here in our local area. And that was my first introduction to the larger foster system here in our area, and with Heart of the Bride and just their mission. And so there was just amazing mission alignment for my heart and for, I think, Heart of the Bride. And so shortly thereafter came on board to help with this thing called Care Portal.
That's great. And I love how you talk about, that picture of God and his adoption of us and making that correlation. It does bring those kind of scriptures to light in a different way when you get to experience it and be a part of this. So that's powerful. But man, share a little bit about, you talked some about your personal journey in this, but overall, like, when we think about foster and adoptive care, and you can speak to this maybe from the Northwest Florida or nationally, however you want to, but what are the needs that we're seeing out there right now?
So there are many. It would be really tough, even I think in this forum, to touch on all of them. So I'll try to maybe just summarize. There's certainly a spectrum of ways that we can influence and needs. So if you think of foster care as being kind of the spectrum of, there's prevention, and then there's kids that are in care, and then there are kids that are coming out of care. And there are needs across that whole spectrum and different ways to meet those needs. But the common need, if I had to really boil it down, is just a reduction in what would be additional trauma. As families are unraveling and they're going through crisis, trauma is just prevalent and it's introduced in these kids' lives. And the system and the church, as we come alongside and help these families and help these kiddos, we need to find methods that reduce the amount of loss, reduce the amount of trauma and the duration of that trauma as best we can. And so, really, it's if you can think about what it would be like to have even your own kids taken, out of your home, and the amount of healing that would need to occur after an event like that. But now think of it from the child's perspective. There's healing that needs to happen after that traumatic event, but the limbo that is created when a child is separated from their birth parents, that limbo is just kind of an ongoing slow burn of additional trauma and additional loss. No matter how safe they feel in their foster home, no matter how secure that home is and the love of that family, there's still that ongoing limbo and lack of permanency and lack of security. And so there's just those. I would characterize the biggest, most pervasive need as just finding ways to help kids heal, and then just reduce the amount of loss and trauma as we try to help their families.
So you how long have you been working with Heart of the Bride now?
Heart of the Bride, just about 2 years.
2 years. Okay.
Yep.
So share a little bit about how we at Heart of the Bride and working with Care Portal, how we are able to help meet some of these needs that we're seeing out there.
So Care Portal is really just a connecting tool, and what it is, it's extremely innovative, and I'm thankful for the governor and nonprofits like Angel Armies who have funded the development of the tool and the ongoing sustainment. Heart of the Bride decided to be the implementing partner here along the Emerald Coast to help equip churches with this connecting technology. And really what it does is it just makes more people aware of the immediate needs around them when it comes to child welfare. And so it's an awareness tool. It kind of drives action where action needs to be had. And so, as I mentioned before, that need being relational, really, it can start through just an initial connection, right? So this tool introduces those that can help to those that need help in the child welfare system. And so it's a neat way to just show up with a tangible need being met. So if a child is about to come into care because grandma is going to be taking on him and his siblings, and she needs bunk beds, so the caseworker is able to put into the Care Portal tool this need. It's immediate. It's very tangible. It's a physical material item, and the church is able to see that need come in. And really, what it does is it provides a quick response capability where there are more people trying to do things earlier in the process to show support and show some love and make a connection with this family. So the church is now able to minister to this family because of this introduction through a bed, and hopefully develop a relationship, a supportive, ongoing relationship, introduce that family and invite them into community and show them the love of Christ. And that's kind of the premise that we want to equip the church to do this better and faster and in more meaningful ways. And so it fits really well into what was already the international heartbeat of Heart of the Bride, to care for vulnerable and to care for the orphans. Here locally, if more people were aware and could interact and wrap around some of these vulnerable families, we would see a reduction in the overall trauma. And I think we would see healing. I think we would see the soul care that is currently missing from the state-run system. We would see a reintroduction of what I would call soul care and the spiritual sacrifice that the church was called to make toward the fatherless.
Yeah, that's great. And beauty about a tool and a resource like this is, often the question is, how do I help? Or the response is, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to help. And this really makes it easy for people. We're saying, hey, we can connect you to the need. Like, we know where the needs are. The needs are being presented to us. All you have to do is say, here am I, send me, in a sense, right? Like, I'm willing to help, and we can help network you and partner you with the people, and work together to meet the need. That was something Brian talked about in our second episode, that really part of the ministry of Heart of the Bride is networking the church together to meet the needs of those who are vulnerable and in need. And that's really what this does, is it
Yeah.
helps network people together, individuals, companies, and churches, to come in and meet the needs of those who are in foster care. And there are a lot of needs, and I think sometimes we can just assume that the
Mhm.
government's meeting those needs, or like we said, people just don't even know that there's a need there. And so
I
we're
think
here to raise awareness.
the entry cost to, I think we're completely shifting the paradigm of the entry cost, meaning, a lot of folks, have a heart to foster. They want to foster, but the timing's not right. Their either job or their own family, or even the size of their home. They want to be able to welcome kids into their home or to adopt more kids, but the timing's not right. Well, what else can they do? And this tool enables them to get involved. And so, it's a powerful way, I think, to bridge what is a what feels like a 0 to 90 kind of race. I want to help in foster care. That means I have to foster. No, it means you just need to get an email when there's a need nearby, and you need to show up and just love on them, as Christ called us to love our neighbors. So it's, I think it fills in that gap for so many families who want to help and just didn't know how.
Yeah, it's very similar to when we think about overseas missionary missions. Not everybody's called to go overseas and be a missionary, but there are a lot of other ways, through prayer, through financial support, through, advocacy, spreading the word. Like, there's a lot of different things that people can do. And this is the same thing. There are ways to get involved for those who maybe aren't in a place to foster right now, but they still want to be a part of it. And I also like that you brought up the relational aspect of this, because this is more than just meeting a need. This is more than going, okay, so and so over there needs a crib. We go drop off a crib. See you later. We did our good deed. We feel good about ourselves. Case closed. This is about building relationships with these people in the community, with these families, and continuing to be there for support, for prayer, to speak into their lives, and really have a long-term relationship, and helping them. It's more than just that one need.
That's so true. And I'm so glad you mentioned prayer. I really do think that that's an area, especially along the Emerald Coast, where the church, has been called to go to our God with these big size things going on. And I don't know if we've maybe grown numb to just the drug abuse that is the number one reason that in our area kids are going into foster care, is just drug abuse from the parents, and then the parents just check out. um, that's a hard road, and I'm telling you, I think our most powerful tool is prayer. And so praying with these families after getting connected with them through Care Portal, or even just knowing of the issue, and praying. I think if we would commit ourselves, devote ourselves to praying for these vulnerable families near us, and then I think the Lord would just drive us to action in a great way.
Yeah, so for all of those who are watching, whether it's someone just individually who may want to get involved, or if there's a business or one of our churches in the area that want to get involved, how do they do that? How do they partner with us and join in on this fight?
Well, it's pretty simple. Most of the needs are public facing, and so you can go on to careportal.org right now and see what the needs are in your area, and you can even respond as a community responder. So if you want to help fund some meals for a family who's right on the brink of having their kids removed, and you just want to love on them and get connected with them, you can be a community responder. A church will be at the point of care, and so you'll be partnering with a local church. If you're a business, you can hop on there and see what the local needs are. You can either fund a need getting met, and then the local church will respond, or you can even become a champion. And so that means you would get trained to receive specific notifications and then be part of the team that goes to meet with the family. So there's lots of ways. It's really simple to enroll. You can either go to our website, heartofthebride.org, care portal. That's where I would recommend you go if you want to enroll as a local business or want to enroll as a local church. Or you can go to careportal.org if you're just a community responder. You can see the needs that are in your hometown. So say you're out of state right now and you want to bridge back into your hometown because you know a particular issue going on or crisis. You can connect with folks there that are boots on the ground in your hometown and help just kind of be that extra financial support, prayer support. So there's really like no, I do think this tool just makes available so many new lines of helping that we should be taking advantage of it. It's a great tool.
Yeah, it's great because, like you were saying, with businesses, they may have just day-to-day operations and don't have staff that they can release to just go and take the trip over to someone's home and meet the need and things like that. But they can provide the financial support to help meet the need and partner with, a church member or someone, one of the ambassadors that's in our community, and they can provide the financial assistance, and then we can take that and run with the ball, so to speak, and go and we can build the relationship, and so it becomes a great partnership, and it really strengthens our community.
Mhm.
That's the beauty of it is our community coming together and networking to strengthen uh, the individual fibers of the community, and that's just a win for everybody.
Absolutely. And then inside the church, some pastors are wondering, I know I'm equipping the flock, uh, my members here at my church with the word. I'm equipping them with all kinds of spiritual armory. And then there's this technology, and I don't know how to equip them with connecting technology. And Care Portal's a great way for pastors to put and empower, put right in the hands their ability to be more interactive, more benevolent in their communities, ways to reach out to the hurting parts of the poor in spirit right there in their neighborhood. And so I think it's a great tool for pastors to equip, which we know they're called to do. And so, what a great equipping tool Care Portal can be.
Yeah, that's great. So any final thoughts before we close out today? Anything that we didn't cover, I forgot to ask about, or any additional facts or things that
Yeah,
would help
just
people in connecting?
some people just don't even realize there are 20,000 in Florida alone, 20,000 across the nation, more than 400,000 kiddos in foster care today. And in Florida alone, there are 5,000 kids waiting to be adopted. And so, our heart would be that those that can provide not only physical and mental and emotional help and healing, but also spiritual help and healing. So, Christian parents. So, yeah, we will always need more parents, God loving, Christ like parents raising their hand and saying, "Here I am," to help meet this really what is a growing need. I think it was about 4,000 that were waiting. This was just a year ago, and now there are 5,000 waiting for an adoptive home just in our state. So I guess that'd be my last input and data point would be, pray, seek the Lord's will in your part to play. If it's not adopting, if it's not fostering, wrap around hurting families, wrap around families that are serving on those front lines as foster parents, and just get involved in a simple way. I would say, the issue in child welfare across the nation is just too few people, caseworkers and professionals doing way too much, trying to do way too much, and so spread very thin. And they're doing it kind of late in the game, late in the process. And the church can offset that with a lot of people doing something small and meaningful earlier in the process. And so I think the church could stand up and be a huge part of the solution to reduce that 400,000 number to where something that we can actually start to improve at.
Yeah, and I know I said we were going to start closing it down, but you brought up adoption, and I just real quick, we do have we work with adoptive care grants, correct? Where we
Correct.
can help people. So just briefly speak to that and how that can help, because I think for some people, adoption can seem overwhelming and not knowing where to start or thinking that it's going to cost too much and they can't do it.
Yeah. So adopting out of foster care will cost you time and blood, sweat, and tears because it's a challenge. Adopting internationally or even locally, a baby or someone with special needs through an adoption agency is very costly. It kind of is the barrier for a lot of families who want to do that, and so it is a really amazing thing. Heart of the Bride, along with other orphan care ministries and adoptive ministries, will provide grants. And so a simple application found on our website, and then we meet as a board and give out grants. I think we just recently sent out $10,000 worth of grants to adoptive parents, just to show our love and support and cheer them on and remove some of that barrier that was prohibitive. So yeah, adoption aid grants you see on your screen there to apply.
Yeah, that's great. And we'll add all the links into the show notes in the description where you can check out our website, go there to check out Care Portal. Matt, I really appreciate you sharing everything today, and we want to encourage you all to join with us, in this journey. We are Heart of the Bride is helping internationally, but we're also helping right here in our own backyard. And for some people that is an important ministry, and so we want to invite you to come and partner with us. Go on heartofthebride.org, heartofthebride.org. You can check out the Care Portal portion there. You can check out as Matt was saying about the adoption grants. And, if your church is interested, let us know. Have someone reach out to us. If you own a small business out there, or you're part of a business and you think your owner or management would want to get involved in helping these needs, or if you're just an individual who really has a heart for these kids, reach out to us, shoot us an email, engage with us. We will walk you through the process of partnering with us in this and helping these kids. So we thank you all for being here with us. And we want to encourage you to go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Click the bell. That way you get notified anytime we drop a new episode or go live. If you or someone is looking for audio version only, we have the audio podcast on Spotify and Apple. Again, this is Plead the Cause, brought to you by Heart of the Bride, and we're here to plead the cause of the orphaned and vulnerable children around the world and right here at home. All right. Thanks, Matt.
God bless, Tommy.